Take me home, I wanna know if you're down, ready to go. Wanna fly away with you, float away, fly away.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roadshow. I'm your host, Jacob Rhodes, and in front of me today, I have, once again, actually, might I add you, because I had to redo a couple of these, obviously, because I think I'll explain it again. I did lose some audio files, but we're here, you know? We're getting through it.
Big facts.
Big facts. Rosel is in the building.
What's happening?
What's happening, brother?
Back for a third time for the second time.
Yeah, so you were number 3?
Yeah.
Number 3 or 4? No,
Yeah.
Corey was 4, right?
Corey was 4. I think I was after or 2 after. Maybe 2 down the line after Corey. Maybe I was...
I thought you were before Corey. You were before Corey.
No, I wasn't. Because I remember in the last one, I spoke about watching Corey's episode.
Right.
Yeah, I was after Corey.
Okay, right.
Yes, sir.
You know this better. I have a lot of guests. I fucking don't. I can't keep up with the last ones, man. What have you been up to, bro? You're releasing music now, dude.
Facts. Releasing music again. It's been a minute.
How's that feel?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah, brilliant. It feels so good to actually be releasing again. So much music has been in the bank, and just the shit that I've been working on to finally start releasing again. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really amped about it to have letters out again. It's
First time though.
Yeah.
You're saying this
Yeah,
again.
yeah. It's amazing. It feels surreal to actually be out releasing again, because the last one was Runaway, and that was 2 years and 1 week
Before letters.
before the letters. By exact 2 years and 1 week.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah.
Did you plan it?
No.
That was unplanned.
No. My manager, Raj and I were back and forth.
Shout out, Raj.
Shout out, Raj. Raj and I were chopping up a lot of dates, trying to figure out when we want to release, because, you know, we had to make sure everything was in order, make sure we were happy with what was going to be coming out. And, ended up deciding with the 13th of May. So,
Perfect.
and then I realized, as I was just backtracking and looking on past releases and then coming on to Letters' release, I realized that it was 2 years and 1 week exact.
That's wild, dude.
So 2 years and 1 week in the making of just really redefining and honing in on skills. So yeah, it's been good.
That time, obviously, you took to build your sound, because you have tracks now that you've showed me a couple of.
That was in the period of time that we met as well.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. It's like that comes from when we first met each other.
Yep.
And I didn't even know you had those tracks banked. So man, and the stuff that you got now is fucking wild, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, it is an understatement to say I'm amped to release the shit that I've got. Man, I'm not shy with actually sharing it with people around me and all that sort of stuff, because I'm just so excited to show people and just see what people think. And it's just been amazing. So yeah, look, within the coming months, I would say it's safe to say that a couple little snippets, leaky leaks coming out here and there, that kind of thing, you know? So yeah, I'm just so excited to share with everybody. I'm truly proud of the work that we've been making. It is... it's so cool,
dude. I'm proud of you too, man. Because
Thank you.
And yeah, you're not verging from your course. You're staying as authentic as you can be.
Yeah.
And it's showing through the music.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. I think it was always that aspect where, you know, just being wholly authentic and just myself and my music was really important to me. You know, my music being an extension of myself, but ultimately just giving people the opportunity, listeners, to just listen to the music and find their own connection with it in whatever way that is theirs. You know, it's, you know, you take with it and do with it what you will. You know, I feel like that's the most important thing as well, is to put the listeners as a priority. You know what I mean? I care about, cool. You know, I care about what my listeners think. You know, it's still me in the studio. I still have to be the one in charge of how the music rolls and all that, but I really do care about what my listeners think, you know.
That's a very good value to have as an artist too, because what that does is that it doesn't segregate you away from anyone, but what it does is it shows that you're not just in it to get the clout, you're not just in it to get the wow, that's crazy, and then like the biggest video clip or whatever it is, and then on to the next. It shows that like you're looking for a connection through sound with your audience, and a lot of people are just like, they're like going for trends and all that kind of stuff at the moment. I get it, like
of course. I mean, like, it's just part of the algorithms and how the process works.
Social algorithms.
You know, like you can't blame that. I mean, shit, like some of the tracks that I've got in my bank, they're sitting on that, like, your mainstream commercial tracks, but I still have my fair share of like tracks where you got to sit down and listen. And I think that's where a lot of my music is headed in this direction. So that with what's coming out and what's yet to come is the music is going to have to demand you to sit down and listen, or take a moment to really listen. And I think it's because, first and foremost, it's the music that I listen to as well. The music that I use as a lot of reference. And again, just coming down to who I am as an individual, you know, I can be quite, you know, in towards myself where, you know, I enjoy things such as reflection, reading, things like that. And that was something that I found within the 2 years when I hadn't released anything, you know. So, and then on the music, from your albums to, like, you know, your Drakes and Adele and things like that, it's got to sit down and listen. It's not something where you can just go, oh yeah, I'll just slap it on because I feel like it. It's got to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also because I've had the privilege to experience what it's like to have someone say to me, your song is this to me, or whatever the case is. I'm not sure if I mentioned on the last podcast, but there was a moment where a girl had hit me up a while ago on my DMs and sent me a screenshot of her listening to La La Land.
Hey, beautiful song, by the way.
Great song. Shout out Fran behind the scenes of that one too.
Shout out Fran, love you, brother.
And she had said to me, I love listening to this song when I'm hungover. Now, it is not the context of the song in any way, shape, or form, but she found a connection with it. And that was great. I loved it. Someone had taken the time to send me a screenshot of them listening to the track and saying, I listen to this when I'm hungover. That's so dope.
That's pretty fucking wild, bro.
It's so cool.
That's so cool.
So I think it's because I've had the privilege to know what the feeling's like when someone can resonate and connect with your music. It truly made me realize that, you know, the consumer and the listener of my music is gold, and I care about what they think, and the music that I make is for them. It's an extension of me, but, you know, it's where you demand that you just sit down and just listen to the music, and just from the beats to the lyrics to everything that happens to the whole mix, find something in there that belongs to you and make it yours, and enjoy the track.
Yeah.
Find something you can attach to it, you know, whether it be a breakup, a happy moment, or something relating to relatives or friends or whatever the case is. But, you know, ultimately, like, that genuine connection between me and another person, whether I've met them or not, that's a really big direction of what I'm pushing on.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, like, even whether you're conscious of it or not, the relative nature of music is frequencies in motion, right?
Yep.
And energy, well, emotion is motion, energy in motion, right? And it causes somebody to, like, feel something because it changes a frequency in them.
Yep.
Whether it be a positive frequency by bringing them up or by bringing them down into something that they've...
A melancholic kind of...
Exactly. And it kind of seems like you facilitate that just with, like, just, you know, you played a beat before, right?
Yeah.
And you were vibing on the beat.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, like, just your vibe is like, you know, you like your essence is giving off energy. And I find that, like, certain artists can do that and, you know, portray it in a way that actually does, it doesn't seem like they're catching a trend, but it does still move people in a way that's meaningful.
Yeah.
And you're doing it well.
Yeah. I just appreciate just authenticity and just being genuine. I think for me personally, it's just one of the best ways that you can strive to succeed in anything, because at the end of the day, the narrative of you stays whole. No one can ever look at you and go, he's a bad guy or he's a person who does this or anything like that. The narrative stays the same.
Yeah.
You know, I speak my truth and my truth is mine. That's it. You know, and the way that I approach my music, my art, my craft is wholly me and only me. And I think that's something where I like to think that's where a lot of people have come to respect me in that area, where, you know, they've realized that's how I operate and that's how I think about my music. You know, like Raj, for example, you know, very quickly came to the understanding of what kind of artist I was, and he respected that process right off the bat. And we've been in meetings with other people, and he's explained on my behalf without me even having to say anything, where in saying that this is his process. You give him a beat, either A, he'll walk away and write to it, or demo on it and deem whether he believes that he can proceed with this, or he won't proceed with it at all. And he'll explain the writing process, or how I'll attack certain bars or certain topics and things like that. It's just because of that, there's people around me like Raj that can now understand how I move and how I approach the music. And because of that as well, him and I sit on a really good parallel level, where if I have a song presented or if I've cut a demo, him and I think on the same level of, yeah, this sounds really good. Maybe try this, maybe cut him out. What if we went this way? You know, there's a track in the bank where I played it to you. That was the one where you said you were like hella reminiscent on. There was an initial first part of that track. It was initial track that was, I believe, a minute long, and then it switched to that part of the track.
Right.
And Raj said, I'm not sure how I feel about the first part. And then I sat on it for a bit, and I thought about it, and then I took two different versions, one with the second half only, and then one with the two pieces together, and then I realized that Raj was right. Not because it was crap, but it's because it's not what the track needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's because of that, there's people around me that have been able to see that. Fran as well, especially. Fran and I work really well together in the studio.
I know you do.
Very well. Like we bounce off each other ridiculously. Like we'll have days where it's like Fran will be like, you want to flip a sample, make up a melody? I'll be on there like first 5-10 minutes, done. He's on straight with the percussion, you know, or him and I would just bounce off each other, you know. Maybe he'll make something all the way through, but I'll know what to say, what to chirp in and go, all right, try that. That sounds cool. Okay, maybe chop him in that kind of way. You know, I think it's when you find a really good compatibility with people around you on working on a good frequency level, it just magic happens, you know.
That's that zone shit, bro.
That zone shit. Ooh.
But bro, that's literally what that is though. You guys, like, you get in flow state together, like, on the same frequency. It's like that whole like adage of like, that's not even an adage, the ethereal shit. Like, we have frequencies in the air going through, around everywhere right now. That if I dropped a radio in here and we set it to a certain frequency, the antenna picks up music. It's like, wait, what the shit? That's in the air.
Yep.
You know, that's
vibrations,
vibrations.
Vibrations.
They're everywhere, bro. You know, and like when you get into a state where you're both in that creative mode, ooh,
dude, shit. It's a dangerous place, man.
Oh, but isn't it addictive, man?
Right. That was funny enough. Zone was literally like that too. We made Zone in that process. I was actually high when I did it, believe it or not.
Oy.
I'm not a big smoker, but I was high in the moment.
I mean, you get around Ferran, you will be. I love you, Ferran. He messaged me on the birthday. For his birthday. He's like, we're gonna roll up, and I was like, bro, don't do that. I'm not fucking smoking at the moment. That's not cool.
I love it.
Oh man, we need to soon though.
Yeah, but sure. Yeah, like when you're in a flow state with someone else, like just in the room, it's just something about it. I've said it so many times before, and to so many people, is when you get moments where a room erupts with just the creativity and the vibe and just how things move. I genuinely, wholeheartedly in my heart believe no amount of money on this earth could ever buy it.
Oh, fuck no.
It's just not possible. And it's in those moments, which I've had the absolute privilege of being able to experience, that it just solidifies my reason for why I do what I do, and it solidifies even further my just my fate with it. You know, I truly do believe that like I'm destined for it, and I've said it in my tracks. You've heard the track, you know what I mean?
Do you think that's like, you know how some people have like more receptive natures to being creative? Like, some, you get two people in a room, some people are kind of creative, some people are semi-creative. You got the really creative types. Yeah. Like, I've done cocaine, right?
Yeah.
But I know people, I've done cocaine only a handful of times, people. I don't fucking do it anymore. But I know some people.
You watch those judgments coming straight through,
fuck 'em,
straight
bro,
for your
fuck 'em.
comments.
I'm a human. I needed to know what it felt like. But there's some people that try that shit once and then they're like, I'm hooked forever. I love this. I love this. You know, there's some people that try it like me and I'm like, it's all right. Like, fuck that shit though. Like, I don't need it. There's some people that have a response to music, like creativity. I'm about to yawn. Fuck you. I saw you yawn. Oh.
Did I subconsciously?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. Oh, shit.
Motherfucker.
Just so everybody knows, we are recording in the evening. All right.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
It's been a busy day.
Well, we ain't bitches.
We still working.
We still working.
What you want
it's
about?
fucking 8 o'clock and now we still going hard. Yeah, but like, you know, how some people, you get somebody in the room, like, just like the cocaine, like somebody's like, oh, there's cocaine in the room. It's just like, I feel like you are more like the person that's like, oh, there's cocaine in the room, but with creativity.
Yeah.
You know, oh, we're getting creative. Yeah. So you're straight in the zone.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's because I like to be perceptive about what's around me. And it's because that's what I do with my music. Because a lot of my music reflects about things that I'm around. Like, I shit you not, I'll be...
Yeah, we've had some wild parties and you weren't partying because you were reflecting on music.
And I literally transcribed that into a track. And it's a dope track, by the way. I can't wait to release that one too. Like we just did a restructure about a month ago with Second Chance Studios. Shout out Second Chance Studios.
Shout out Second Chance.
Aaron Brownie, great guy.
Aaron, I've talked to Aaron a couple of times.
Good man.
I want to have him on. I will have him on.
Bro, I reckon you have some really good chats with him. You think I'm enthusiastic about music? This guy loves his music, man. I'm telling you, like, the passion that he just puts in the room is just wild. But yeah, like a couple months ago, we were restructuring one of the tracks, and when he restructured it, I was like, oh, this is dope. It literally brought it up from just a solid 8 straight up to a 10, man. It was just his restructure on it was just I remember I played it to Raj in the car and Raj was like, bro, he was like, this is crazy.
He put the red dress on the girl. He put the red dress on her.
Man, bro.
I love when producers can do that.
Yeah, man.
There's only a few people in Perth that can do that too. Only a handful.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, I think it's just being creative is just, I don't know, it feels natural. I think it's also because it's just essential, you know what I mean? Just a form of expression. You know?
And an outlet, right?
And an outlet. And it makes me think, because I've thought about it a couple of times, and I've thought to myself, like, if expression and outlet is a necessity, then why isn't everybody and anybody making music or forms of music? But then I thought, there's all these different kinds and all that. You get people where their expression, their outlet is through cooking, cinema, vlogging.
Yeah, there's like consumerism, and there's like creativity, right? But consuming something is still creative in itself because you're a part of it. You're taking it in perceptively, right?
Exactly. So like, it made me think. I was like, why isn't everybody creative? It was just one of my passing pondering thoughts, you know, just like when I'm driving in the car or something. And then I began to just think further, and I was like, well, everything's essentially an outlet if you think about it. Like, you know, going for a walk, it's an outlet. It's a form of expression. You know, you're taking a think, or, you know, anything from going to the gym, you know, or podcasting, you know, things like that. It is.
Yeah, this is just talking shit. No, it's cool.
Bro, there's like, genuinely, people out there would watch this, and this would be as a form of outlet for them, just listening to people talk and just listening to someone say something insightful once in a while, or maybe just listen to people talk about music for a little bit, kind of thing, you know. And I think it's just a necessity, a form of expression and outlet. It's just a necessity for us as human beings. And
we
think
need that. We need to like just you need social venting, so you can just like. It's not so much to put the burden of your life onto somebody else. It's literally just to let off the gas a little bit. You know?
And see that's like that's just what I do. Like with the music, it's I take anything that I can get my hands on that I feel like needs to be expressed, and I'll express it to the point where, shit you not, I've had people say to me, "Please don't put this on a track," and I'm like, okay, we'll see.
Now I kind of have to.
We'll see. like please don't write a song about this. We'll see. All right. You can't tell me not to make a song, whether it gets released or not. I don't know.
Motherfucker, now I have to write a track to this.
Now I have to write a track about it. But it's just expression. It's weird. It's like whenever the moment fits, and it just naturally flows into it. It's just something about it. Like gym, for example. I wasn't massive about gym last year, but then this year I love it. I don't know, something's come about and I really, really, really enjoy it.
Nice.
You know, and it's just something about it now. I just love it.
Like the task of it,
the discipline of it. I've seen results. You know,
that's a big part, right?
That's a big part.
Seeing the results,
yeah.
Because you do a little bit more, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!"
I think it's the mentality of as well, because like I've started to implement things where it's like I make sure I dress well to be in the gym. I don't just jump in raggedy shit. So like for me, if I dress well and I look good in the gym, my body looks good in the gym in good clothes, in good gym clothes, I found that I feel like I'm the shit in my own world, and I go even harder in my sets.
That's a good point, because I used to wear like the shittiest old gym clothes, and like they became. Do you know what I used to do though?
What?
I used to wear my fat boy clothes. No, I'm not joking.
Really?
Yeah, like when I was like fucking shredded and like big boy. I used to wear my fat boy clothes because it used to hide my shit. I didn't want anybody seeing my physique. Damn. And then that was the polarization of ego. Because as soon as I left the gym, that shirt came off. Yeah. And everyone could see. Like,
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I think like it's just that mental confidence booster. And I think
need that.
I think that's why like dressing appropriately in the gym is for me, look, everybody's different. For me, it's an important thing because it's how my mental works, and I like
100%,
it.
100%.
You know, it's like, you know, I'll wear an outfit that is like, you know, just black and white, but I'll coordinate. You know, like I'll wear a set of skins or something with a shorts and a good shirt over the top, but like where it shows the physique of my body. And you know, I'll either catch myself in the mirror just doing my workouts.
Hey, big boy.
Yeah, and I'll go like shit. Like I've actually bulked up further than what I was before, and now I'm starting to lean out. I can start to see like definition coming in. It's a hell of a confidence booster. And there's been days where I've seen it and I've gone, nah, let me slap on an extra 10 on the weights or something, or extra 20. And it really just pushes. So gym, you know, like for me, gym's just become something that I've really started to enjoy, you know, and the discipline of it, just being there and doing it. I just enjoy it.
Well, you need, like, that's one thing that I talk about quite regularly is like making sure that your battery, not this one, this battery can go fuck itself. I'm telling you every time. But your physical battery. So like you have a certain. That's why they have calories in to calories out, right? Like there's a general amount of calories that your body burns in a day.
Yeah.
If you have too many calories, you feel like sluggish, and like, you know, like especially if they're dense calories that come from like fucking bad food, right? But there's another part to that where I don't think we really talk about all that much, which is the enthusiasm for life that you get from exercise.
Yep.
Like when you go, you know that runner's high shit? You know when you go for a run?
I do that. I have an oxygen mask, and I run with it on the treadmill.
Even without that even without the oxygen deprivation.
Yeah.
Just going for a run, if you run long enough and get through your demons and stuff, you get like a fucking euphoric.
Yeah. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah. Actually, there's another type of endorphin, and I can't remember the fucking name of it. You have endorphins and like it's like it's a outdorphin or some shit. I don't know what it is. Like it's a very strange one, but there's a specific amount of endorphins that get released throughout the body, but then there's neuroendorphins as well, and you actually get them through exercise. Now when you don't exercise, imagine it like a fucking car battery, right? If you constantly like just leave that battery on charge, eventually the terminals get all acidic, you know, like if you don't drain that battery down, like take a fucking iPhone battery for example. If you're constantly putting that thing on charge and then like every day it's on charge and you don't let it drain out, what happens to the battery? It starts to get really, really shitty, right? It starts to fucking fuck the phone up and everything. You kind of got to let it go full to look like the least amount. Don't just keep upping it every day, which it kind of fucking, it's like a paradox really, because we think that like we've got good food, we've got rest, like everyone's got a decent bed. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry if you don't. I'm talking about the general public. If you've got good food and decent rest, then your body knows how to put away calories and but there's one thing that comes with that, which is there's no struggle for any of that shit unless you go to a high labor intensive demanding work site. Right? Now, like you can go in your car, you can go from here into your car, a complete turnaround, come back with KFC, the most calorie dense shit. You don't need to get out of your car. You don't need fucking and they'll give it to you through a window. Right? And you can come back here and like, think about that. You would need to go rummaging for fucking potatoes. Right? You would need to go kill a certain amount of chickens, right? You need to get wheat. You need to go pick some wheat and the other fucking 10 herbs and spices, whatever the fuck they are. There'd be a lot of work, but we're facilitated in this this lifestyle right now.
You've removed the difficult process.
There's no struggle, right? So when you're going back to the gym and you're implementing that struggle back into your life, you're regaining that self-respect of, hey, I'm going on the hunt. I think that applies to a general life aspect as well. Is like not even just gym, just struggle in general. As much as you know, just having an outlet and all that is a necessity. Same as struggle. Struggle's got to be a necessity. You got to go through the shitty aspects of life, whether that be, I don't know, death, heartbreak, loss of a job, financial struggle, whatever the case is. Struggle, I believe, can be some of the most defining moments for people, you know, because usually within the struggle is where, you know, you find yourself really beginning to learn a lot about yourself, most of all. And then I believe that, you know, your rebounds back from that, you know, is when you come back really strong, like really, really strong. You know, it's like the yin and yang. You have to have the good to also have the bad, you know what I mean? Vice versa. It's otherwise they take over each other.
You know, like you won't know a good day you won't know a good day unless you've experienced a bad day. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
You won't know what, you know, love is like until you've experienced what love is not like, what love is not meant to be. You know, you won't know a good song until you've made a shitty song.
That's a good point.
You know,
when are the good songs coming?
Bro, like coming back to what you were saying, like just the struggle aspect of it, I think it is a necessity, you know, within life. And this is why like, again, like if I say like I like gym because I like the discipline of it, it's because that discipline is also being implemented into my life. If I'm showing up for the gym, guess what? I'm showing up everywhere else. You know what I mean?
For yourself too.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you're implementing struggle within a gym and all that sort of stuff, you know, there's a necessity. You're going to be experiencing struggle throughout points in your life as well. And it's important. Definitely. You know, some of the things that just really define who you are and really push your limits as well. And like, it kind of like tests you almost.
Yeah. So full circle.
Yeah.
Going back on that though, what defined this track Letters?
So what defined this track, Letters, was
Because there's a bit of pain in there as well, yeah?
yeah, the main revolving point, the hook was revolved around my nana, my grandmother from South Africa.
Right.
So so she had passed away in 2019, and when I was younger, and I had said this on the Hustle and Grind interview as well, which is on my YouTube for anyone who wants that. So Rosel_RO. Shout out Big Rack and Zero.
Shout out, boys.
And Playboy. I pretty much kept all the letters that she had sent me when I was younger. So prior, before she got savvy with text on WhatsApp, she would send me a lot of letters asking about here, what the weather's like and back in Cape Town and PE and all that sort of stuff. And I've got every single one of them. I haven't got rid of one letter. I've got every single one of them. So every few intervals, few years or so, I'll go back and read the letters. And all
How
that
often
sort of
did
stuff.
you get them?
I got them every month or two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I would write back.
Oh,
know?
that's so cool.
Yeah, so she, her and I would write back, and then eventually one day she messaged me off WhatsApp. It was the biggest surprise. I was like, Nana, you messaged, like, holy shit. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. So yeah, and then in 2014, I believe, she gave me a Saint Christopher. And that hasn't left my body since.
Was it like a necklace, is it?
Yeah, it's a necklace. So Saint Christopher, this one.
Oh, that's dope. That's
So it
dope.
hasn't left my body since. And yeah, so if you think about it, the hook, and I know that the eagle was precious, but not as much as my necklace. Yeah, that she was gifted to me by the woman who's never complacent and never so reckless. I still keep the letter she sent me. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, again, this is like what I said, my lyrics, my meaning, like, I take aspects of my life, an extension of myself, I put it on the track, but whatever connection anyone can make from it is their own, and that's what I push all the time. But the revolving idea around letters was that, and me going back to my roots as to who I was, what was my name, Rosel, the embodiment of Rose Langton, my grandmother, who was a woman who was never complacent and never so reckless. You know what I mean? So it was me within those 2 years learning all the things that I learned, redefining myself, looking at the things that I purely enjoy and what makes me, me, and going back to those roots and then placing that in tracks. So letters is the first step, the stepping stone of what's to come. The next set of tracks that are on the list, a lot of it dives in further and further and further. It breaks down into experiences I've had over these past 2 years. It really opens up. The beats even transpire to that kind of feel. Every aspect is all put in place for a reason. Nothing's there just because it's like, yeah, okay, put them in. It's a very thought through process.
I can tell. I can tell.
So
that's
yeah.
a very beautiful song, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
I made my cousin. I made my cousin or cousins in South Africa cry. My sister sent me
beautiful.
My sister sent me a Snapchat. I think a week in of the release of her in the car crying to the track.
dude,
So I know that I'm making the right impact with it, because the track itself, it has its personal meaning from me and people that are close.
yeah.
But ultimately, I got the love that I got back from the track was just outstanding. It was very personal and direct, which is the exact nature of the track. So it was great. I had people sending me paragraphs, man. They're not these, but these lengthy paragraphs saying how much they loved the progression of the sound to it being sounding so mature right now, and the message of the track, and it sounds amazing, looking forward to the next ones, and it's also refreshing to know that people still have their ear to the ground waiting for that new Rosel. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is this sound is completely different to anything that I heard from you prior to it.
yeah
Right?
Yeah.
That sexy smooth tones that you had of La La Land and then that kind of like clubby, flumy kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shit as Zone too, you know.
Yeah.
But
that
now,
dope track, you know.
oh, dope tracks, man, fire tracks. I don't think you can miss. Like, I don't think you can miss, bro.
No.
Like, to be honest.
No.
With Letters though, I did see here, like, and see actually, because you have implemented like your grandmother on the cover art.
So that is my grandmother. She was in a little photo shoot thing, and the original color of that image was actually like that yellow-ish
sepia tone.
Yeah. And it was funny. Raj and I were in an upstairs bar, and we were just talking about the track, conceptualizing the idea of it being our single. And I was just scrolling through my photos. There was no particular reason. I was just rolling through them, and I remember I just came across the picture because my mother had posted it via Facebook. And I remember saving that photo because I liked it.
That's wild.
Yeah, and she just slid through it, and I was like, oh, clicked on it, showed it to Raj. I was like, cover? He was like, and he was like, yeah, I like that. That's the one. He's like, and then, shit you not, right after that, we just started spitballing ideas. Bang, bang. All right, let me try to turn it to black and white. I quickly went to an app, quickly tried it out. Looked dope. I'm like, all right, now we're on a roll. And then we're like, all right, cool. We got to get this to Malik. Sent it off to Malik. Malik took a look. Malik, added his pieces and all that. And then that's how it came to fruition. But ultimately, like, the goal was to keep her as the centerpiece there, because there were so many different variations and options we could have gone, but ultimately we wanted to make sure the respect for the photo was still there. And and we did exactly just that.
Well, you killed that. Like, that was amazing. When I first saw it, I was like, whoa. Like, and then Raj was like, no, that's his grandmother. I was like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Because it goes so well with the song.
Yep.
And, because it looks like a photo that you get sent from, like, your grandmother, like, back in the day, That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Yeah, man. Shit runs deep, bro. We think about how we want to move.
Yeah.
There's always a story and a context to what we do. And I think that's what we do. It's just what we like. We like to think in depth, tell stories, be a part of them, push them out. This is why, like, I just love being a part of shit and just doing stuff.
Yeah, literally, bro. But like, you've got a solid team around you that facilitate that creative nature of yours. Well, not facilitate it. It's almost like they don't do anything to deprave you of it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, do this. Like, be yourself. Be Rosel.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like, okay, this doesn't go, or like, they tell you, but like, that's the cool thing. I know those guys. So like, even if you were like, no, I want to do it this way, they'd be like, cool, let's make it work.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's important. Really important.
It fucking is, man.
And this is why I feel like I'm super privileged and I'm immensely grateful for having the people that I do around me, and and my team. Is we can sit down at a table and chop shit up and go, I want to do it this way. And Raj can wholeheartedly turn around to me and say, look, I'll be very honest with you. I genuinely don't think that's it. We can be very honest with each other about these things. And in so many cases, we won't ever really brush anything off the table. You know, Raj may say, let's try this, and this. I won't go, nah, I don't want to. It's going to be a case of, all right, let me try it out. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
And if I can execute, I can execute. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we know, we don't necessarily brush that off. But because of the fact that we're so honest with each other, I can trust in what's being said to me. Malik as well. I show Malik all the tracks that come through, everything. And he'll be honest with me and sometimes and go, your weakest track. Or you'll go, yeah.
It's so brutal.
Yeah, but that's why I respect.
You need it there.
Exactly, but that's why I respect Malik so much, and my admiration is so high for him, is because like you need that as much, because in this kind of industry, beating around the bush and dancing around and sugarcoating and all that does no one any good. You know, if you have someone who's wholeheartedly a straight shooter and will say it for what it is and go, that's your weakest track, dope, great, right? Is it still a good track? Yes. All right, cool, that works enough for me. How can I make it stronger? You know, yada, yada, yada. But having Malik on, like someone like Malik on my side is just vitally important, just as much as it's also vitally important to have someone like Raj on my side, because Raj can see something and go, I see the perspective that you're coming from. This is dope. I can make this work.
Yes.
Right. Raj has the perspective.
Visionary. Exactly.
He has the perspective to take a look at something and go, yep, I can make a way for this to work. Letters, for example. Letters isn't a commercial mainstream, you know, track that you play on your radios and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's not the very bubbly poppy songs and all that.
Yeah.
Right? We picked that track, and within the first 10 minutes, Raj was already spitballing ideas of how to push the track and everything, because he took the perspective of, how do I push the track? How do I find the avenue that is going to work for this track? Right? And understand the meaning behind it. That's why when we saw Nana on the image, we knew that was it. When we were discussing the process of how to get the cover art, we knew that she had to be intact, right? The track itself, from the hook to what was being said, to its delivery, right? To the mixing, even how certain things were dulled down and brought up. It was all in the context of making sure it revolved cleanly around the idea of coming back to the roots and my Nana being a vocal point in that track.
Yeah.
That's purely from Raj's perspective of being like that. So this is why, like I say, like I am immensely grateful for having people like Raj and Malik on my side, and just people around me who can be just honest about my music. Because having people who won't be honest with you with your music does nothing for you. There is no progression. There is no growth. You start walking in directions with false information, right? You know, Fran is another great example. Fran will push boundaries with you. And a part of my growth, my artistic growth and my development has come from Fran pushing me on boundaries and limits, going, try this, do this. You know, it has come from just being brutally honest. You know what I mean? He'll say things and go, that's not it. Fix that. Try this.
We do need those people with that kind of perspective, right?
100%.
Because it makes us check ourselves.
And I feel like...
And if we're not checking ourselves, man, like we could be down a tangent that could be fucking well off path.
It's a necessity. Big necessity. You know? And that's something that I've learned myself. Because beforehand, I would always, like, way back when, I would, you know, I had the habit of going like, yeah, it's good, like, it's not bad, maybe a bit of work and this and that. I literally danced around what I was initially wanting to say. But because of having the right people around me, I shoot straight. I say it for what it is. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going, it's shit. It's going, I think that area could have some work, and I think you really have something on your hands there, right? But that's all coming from perspective and opinion, but that's from the people I have around me.
Yes.
And this is why I think, like, you know, having people around you with a like-minded mindset is just amazingly important. You know, I a lot of what I know today and how I do things and all that, I give my roses out to, you know, the people around me. I wouldn't be in a position that I am without a lot of them, you know.
It's a good point. I feel like we get dealt a certain amount of hands, well, a certain amount of cards in our hands throughout life. And maybe sometimes at that time, you don't realize the value of that person. But then we get given like scenarios where we need to grow, where we need to experience things to become that next version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then those people, because they maybe didn't have the right outlook then, they eventually, you do line up.
Yeah.
Because we don't all have the same IQ. We don't have all the same background. Imagine if we did, though.
Yeah.
It'd be so fucking boring,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Imagine if everything was certain, man.
Discussions would be dull.
Oh, dude, I knew exactly what you were about to say on this podcast. We might as well just fucking like pack it up, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it'd be silly.
I might as well just transcribe it for you and just say what you were going to say. Just, you know?
Exactly. But that's also like, there's another side to that though, right? Because there are some people in your life that, not in your life, I'm saying in general in life, not everybody has the best intentions.
Yep.
And sometimes you do need to realize or have that like self-talk with yourself to go, is this person, because we've had this chat actually.
Yes.
Like when I first met you, our first ever conversation actually went a little bit along the lines of, you said this, I don't like to share all my music with everybody because they won't get it. Right? They won't get it like the way that like talking about music. That's what you're talking. I'm not talking like actual sharing the songs.
Yeah.
Talking about how you created something or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now I took that and I was like, wow, like that's some insightful shit because like not everybody's going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, you're doing wonderful. Like your mum normally, like my mum at least would be like, yeah, but like, is it going to put money in the bank and all that kind of stuff?
Oh,
like,
that's nice. You know,
well,
like cool kind of thing.
Like they're supportive, but they're not supportive in the way that like you would be supportive of your own dreams.
I think it's being supportive and being polite in the conversation, you know?
Correct. And I noticed like I've been reading a lot of books recently on what it takes to be kind because coming off like I had like this bout off marijuana at the moment and I use weed to fucking get more empathetic and like care more about other people. So I'm like, I need to fix that in myself because I can't keep getting high my whole life just to be like empathetic for a few people, right? Now I've realized that empathy comes from a willingness to give empathy.
Yep.
Right? And you see empathy in others when you're being empathetic yourself.
Yeah.
When you are super, super, super confident in a song or a project, never ask if it sounds good from anybody else that you don't think they have like an ear for the music industry, you know? Like if you ask somebody just random on the street and you're going to take their opinion like to heart, like really, really, really harshly because it's your artwork. It doesn't matter who they are. You'll take it to heart because it's your artwork. But if you would just covered that up, right? And just showed the few people that like you actually valued their opinion of,
I think, and you know what?
Does wonders.
Yeah, man. Building off what you were saying, I think it's sharing your process and your music with everybody is not the ideal thing to do. You don't see anybody or everybody do it. You know, usually you have your group of people or your select few that you do it with, and it's like you said from what we said when we first met is that sometimes you just don't share your stuff with people around you because they just won't understand it. And that's not to say that they're like, I don't know, they're dumb or they're, you know, inadequate to be, you know, understanding of the world of, you know, what we do. It's just their interests aren't there. You know what I mean? Someone can spit the meanest facts to you about, you know, financial literacy, you know, and you could be dead numb to it and go, yeah, man, it's dope, cool, nice. It's not a thing of like, yeah, it's whack. It's like, it's just not in your interest. That's it. That's why, like, it's good to stay in your lane, you know, just find people that share your passion, what it is that you like to do, you know, that have a good tuned in ear to what it is that you do, and show them, you know what I mean? And every now and then it's okay to show a consumer, because that's a good insight to have. If a consumer knows, you know, and goes, this track's hot, or I like this track, or like, that sounds really, really good, you know you're on the right kind of, you know you're on the right track. And that's important to have, but it's also important to have people around you that have like a good ear, or maybe interested in what you do, or a similar interest, you show them and they go, I like that. Here's a bit of constructive criticism. Here's a bit of this. Maybe try that. Because that's just inevitably leads to more lessons, growth. You're developing further. Whereas if you're just showing people who are interested all the time, disinterested.
Yeah, we got there.
We got there.
Yeah, it kind of sets you up to like take on a narrative that like they're not interested. So you like, hold on, is this not interesting?
Yeah.
But it's
or
not
you
like
just take
that.
on false information.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And they just go, this is really good. I feel like you should be louder in the chorus. Then like you not being around anybody who may be like on the same level as you or interested as you, right? You're gonna take that information on board and go, I should be louder in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're leading off with bad information. Whereas if someone with an in-tuned ear may just say, you just need to mix that, man, you'll be good. Don't worry about it. All right. Again, it just comes down to be selective about what you share your shit with. You know what I mean? That's not saying be an asshole about it.
Yeah. Don't be the government with the vaccines. Fuck you, government, by the way.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, how's that today, though, right?
Yeah.
They lifted the fucking mandates for the vaccines on jobs.
I saw. I looked at it. I was like, oh, all right. What was the point of all that before then?
Talk about disinterest. I'm disinterested in everything that the fucking government has to do now. Like, what the fuck, bro? They pushed that narrative for that long just to drop it in a day.
Yep.
One day.
Yep.
And I was speaking to Hammer this morning, and I said to him, bro, wouldn't it's going to be crazy. Like, they're going to drop these mandates soon. And he was like, not going to happen. It happened the same day, bro.
Same day.
Same day shit. Yeah, it's kind of wild, man.
That's wild. That's wild. We're going to look back on this when we're older and we're going to laugh at it.
Yeah, bro.
We're going to giggle.
We're going to giggle, but I think we're also going to be like, because we don't know what the long-term fucking ramifications of emergency use vaccines are.
Yeah.
And that's what this mRNA shit was. Like, it didn't go through a fucking, like a testing phase. It was used on second trial. It was fucking stupid. But, like, they still pushed it up until early today. They still pushed it as it reduces transmissibility. So, yeah, you need it to work. But wait, hold on. I had COVID and I'm double vaxxed.
Yep.
So did my ex-partner. So did fucking everyone in my family.
Yep.
Wait, reduces transmissibility? You fucking idiots. You fucking morons. Like, and I'm a dickhead. I'm an actual moron. And I listen to you.
Tell him, Jacob.
Like, fuck you, government. Seriously, but in all honesty, I guess I'll be the first one to say it. I don't know if it was from, the leadership of Mark McGowan that we got locked into the WA thing. It did keep it out up until they let everybody in.
That was a pretty blissful time, I'm not going to lie. I remember hearing so much stuff about over East getting just absolutely gypped from COVID. And then there was WA just going, wait, you want to go to the pub on the weekend?
Yeah, you want to go to the pub? Yeah, you got to wear a mask still.
Oh, God. That was
a weird time, man.
Very weird time.
And do you know what? We have to go on with our lives now like a pandemic didn't happen.
Yep.
We gotta go on with our lives and accept the fact that a third of the fucking people I don't know if it's a third. I'm probably blowing those statistics out of the water. I'm sorry, government, but you fucking deserve it. There was a lot of people that got pericarditis and a lot of inflammation of the heart. They fucking scrambled their neuron to brain connections, heart to brain connections. We don't know the ramifications in long term, like in the long term.
Yeah.
Right now. But there's dude, I heard a conspiracy theory and I don't know if I should be listening to this one, but it was like they were pushing this to bring down fertility in males.
Oh, real?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I'm going to say this on the podcast. Ever since I had the vaccine, my nuts hurt. Dude, I've had blood tests and everything. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm fucking like, and nobody can tell me what. I've had multiple ultrasounds on my testicles. Nobody can tell me what's going on. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And like, I still eat healthy as shit. I exercise every day. And like, they're like, no, your fucking nuts are fine. I'm like, oh, dude, okay. All right. You have my nuts then. Just for a day. Tell me how you feel.
Oh, you made me laugh, man.
No, but seriously, like, man, well, we don't know what the long-term ramifications of this bullshit is.
Yeah.
And like, maybe it's just blue balls. Maybe I need to get laid.
Oh my God.
No, but fuck, like, we don't know what the fucking long-term ramifications of this shit is. And I'm guessing, like, if it's anything like what we saw with, like, the Tuskegee experiments.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those motherfuckers, like, in the US, they gave, like, a bunch of black people syphilis.
Oh.
Like, and yeah, it's not cool. But like, on a grander scale, like, I don't want to go into a conspiracy theory right now, but it kind of seems like they were just trying to make money off this shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was a great opportunity to do it. Like, if I owned a pharmaceutical company and like some shit leaked out of a fucking place that nobody ever heard of in China, right? You can yawn, bro. It's fine. I would fucking be like, oh shit, like, this is our chance. We can push a fucking vaccine.
Dude,
right
there's some
now.
stranger things right there. Fucking shit leaking out of a lab.
Dude, I read an article that lab was owned by Glaxo. Do
Oh.
you know who owns Glaxo? Oh, do you know what Glaxo also owns?
No.
Pfizer.
Oh shit. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can fucking Google that shit. Like, get into it yourself. I went down a rabbit hole. Dude, it's wild shit, bro. Wild stuff. And like, just to think now, like, you don't, like, so yesterday, like, people even with kids couldn't go to a workplace because they were literally worried that they wouldn't be able to make money.
Yeah.
You motherfucking made me.
Hey man.
If you're driving, don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, don't listen to this podcast. We're doing this so late.
But like, now today, those same people can go and get a job.
Yep.
And like, those same people could have COVID yesterday and COVID today.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter next week if they have it or not. They don't have to have a vaccine or not.
Yep. Yeah, it's a bit
What's
odd.
going to happen with all the drive-through PCR testing places?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you reckon they're all going to close down? Or do you reckon it's going to be like oh no, we should probably keep the fear-mongering going? You motherfuckers.
Just keep it there.
Oh, but right, it keeps the old people in check. Like, what is a PCR test, like $110 for the government or some shit like that?
Wait, what?
Yeah, what do you think, they're free? Taxpayers pay for that shit, bro.
Dog, I was that naive. I haven't gone for any PCR tests. I've just been doing the rats.
Yeah, well, isn't that fucked up too?
Yeah.
They locked us in our homes like
Yeah,
we're rats.
I knew the rats weren't reliable. I was just
No. Just that, like, anagram, rats.
Yeah.
Rapid antigen test.
Yeah.
Rats. They called us rats. Test with the rats. Like, rats test. What the fuck? We got locked in a cage, and then now they're like, they literally made us like fucking like test mice, mice subjects,
Yep.
test rats,
Yep.
right? And then they call the test rats for the people. You fucking rats. That's what the government was saying. You fucking rats. You guys don't even realize what we're doing. 40 billion up. Woo!
Jesus.
Those motherfuckers though, right?
Yeah.
Dude, did you know that there's a Pfizer campus in Bentley next to ECU?
Serious?
Huge.
Yeah.
It's massive, bro. I had no idea it was there. And I drove past and I was like, you what the fuck? Dude, I wanted to go get a selfie in front of the sign, just be like, selfie. Fuck 'em, man.
And tag them. Hashtag it.
Like, think about that shit. You weren't allowed to work because we couldn't stab you with something that injected a liquid that we didn't know what does to you.
Yeah.
Like, we really don't know.
That was an interesting time.
Dude, there's 2 fucking podcasts that got removed from Spotify from Joe Rogan. They were the only 2 that's ever been removed.
Malik told me about that.
Dr. Peter McClellow and Dr. Robert Malone.
Yep.
They were fucking 2 fucking well-versed fucking doctors in their fields. Dr. Robert Malone actually created most of the patents on mRNA vaccines. Mm-hmm. He was even like, we shouldn't be doing this shit. It's like, and now like we kind of just have to accept the fact that they pushed a narrative. What do we do now? Do we just not trust the media? I think
media has always been just a place where you have to be careful about what you see and how you take it on. I feel like that's always been the case. Always. Media is all about perception. Like, genuinely, you can't trust it. Not saying that it's like anything and everything you see is horseshit kind of thing, but it's like...
It is, by the way. I'll stand on that.
Not everything and anything, but there's a very, 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 very good chunk of it that is like, you have to be like you can't take it on for face value. You have to look at it from a different perspective. I feel like media's always been that different, you know, that different world where it's like, yeah, just watch out, just be careful, you know. Yeah,
it's like fucking... There's that's one thing I fucking did the other night. I went over to my parents, right, for dinner.
Yeah.
And like I watched like 5 minutes of the fucking nightly news. And that's where the premise of clickbait came from. You know, when you click on Google or Chrome and it like shows you a bunch of articles underneath it, and it's like, why did Will Smith slap fucking Chris Rock?
Yeah, Snapchat has it. If you go on the Snapchat thing, you'll get these.
It's just like clickbaity shit, right?
Yeah, you'll get these update things, and it'll have like Amber Heard said this, and just like it leads. It
leads to something. That's what I was getting at. Is I was literally watching the news, and every single fucking story, grinds my gears, was literally like clickbait into the next fucking thing. But my parents don't realize it because that's what they grew up with, you know. Yep. And mind you, disinformation wasn't really a thing until Bruce Baldwin stepped in. Thank you, dickhead. But like after the media really realized that they could fucking, you know, like they could skew the narrative, like the truth. Like, I wonder if that's what they did. Like, have you ever seen the movie Jacob the Liar with Robin Williams?
No.
So Jacob the Liar with Robin Williams was actually a pretty serious movie about the Nazi Germany war kind of thing. Yep. And Jacob, spelt with a K, and I'm not a liar. Actually, everybody lies. That's a lie just then. What the fuck? Jacob the Liar with a K. He was a Jew, and he was inside of the Nazi camps. Well, I think it was about to get locked down, and he lied that he had a radio.
Oh.
And he was actually spreading disinformation, saying the war was over, so everyone would calm down around him. So he was doing it in a kind of a nice way.
Yeah.
But then that spread, and it didn't end up nice. But like, this is where I was getting at, is I wonder back then, like, if disinformation was a real thing. Like, do you know how it's visual now? We watch it on television, and like you can see it on like Snapchat and everything like that. I wonder if like audibly they were sending disinformation.
I reckon.
You reckon?
Yeah, it makes sense. Because like back then, you know, people's main communication would have either been by your newspapers, your radio stations, all that sort of stuff. Guaranteed. I reckon there would have been an alteration on the newspaper. You know, don't put that word in there. Change it to this. It makes it seem more lighthearted, or, you know, or change the photo of this because of this makes it seem it's not as big of a deal as it actually is. Or, you know, the radio host being told, don't mention this. You know, there's always been that aspect of like, do not say this. Like a prime example is NWA when they got told not to perform "Fuck the Police."
Yeah, and then they did.
That was literally almost like a form of controlled media. It's like, don't say that. You know, we need you to You know, don't spread your truth, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Like, refrain from saying what's actually truth. You know what I mean? And we need you to fabricate what really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they want to uphold the narrative, right? And the narrative is that the state is, well, in that case, the state is we are a service for the people, but they were also going through neighborhoods and just like maliciously murdering people, like pulling them out of their homes and like, you know, or like throwing them in jail just because they were black. It wasn't the same person that committed the crime.
It's
all
all
just fucking stupid shit.
It's all narrative. It's all
narratives, bro.
It's how you tell a story. It's pretty much, and that's it. Literally goes back to the roots of who we are as a civilization and as a race.
Storytelling.
Stories. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, you go back to like caves and shit from Stone Age time. You see like stories being told by paintings on walls.
That's religion, man. Like, look at all religion. Like, that's why the most crazy religions are still in succession, right? Is because the biggest, craziest stories live on.
It's compelling.
It's compelling.
It's whatever is the most compelling.
Except for science fiction.
It's
Scientology, rather. Scientology can eat a dick. Those motherfuckers are crazy. Fuck you, Tom Cruise. Apparently the new Top Gun is fucking amazing, by the way.
I've heard it's really good.
I gotta see it.
I've heard it's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna go see it when it comes out.
We gotta wrap this shit up anyway, bro. It's getting fucking late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that fucking camera's about to die again. Gang. Love it. Yeah, everybody, you can catch Letters. It's out on Spotify. How can everyone get in touch with you?
My Instagram, Rosel _RO.
_RO. Real ones. Because you were a real one.
Real one.
That's awesome, it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like the podcast, please like, subscribe, and share to your friends, because without you, this thing doesn't run. I want you guys to, like, this whole vaccine thing's a really scary thing, but now we're free. The mandates are up. Act as if, like, you had one day left regardless, right?
Relax. Memento mori.
That's the one. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic night. I'm Jacob Rhodes.
I'm Rosel.
Hey, this is Rosie right here. Happy days. Yeah, man. Thank you for coming down. I love you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me again.
Take care of yourself.
Peace.
Take me home, I wanna know if you're down.